This is gonna be a rambling, a rant, but I want to talk about this particular subject. But first things first, I do this for me, for venting purposes, and if you don't like it, please, please, please get the fuck off my channel. I'm not looking for any praise, no accolades. Now, back to the subject at hand. Um, I want to. It's so funny, you know. I hear this cliche all the time, but in some cases, it's true. History is doomed to repeat itself. I'll say it again. History is doomed to repeat itself. The main reason why the main reason why I'm saying this is because there was a song that was made by this rapper by the name of Lupe Fiasco, and the song was called "Old School Love." Basically, he was just talking about paying homage to the old school and all that stuff, and all that, talking about the troubles in the inner city ghettos and all that stuff, but also paying homage to the old school, at the same time. But there was a certain verse that he said on that song, and it goes a little bit something like this. You realize that your future is somebody else's past. I'll say it again. You realize your future is somebody else's past. What I'm trying to say is that, okay, remember back in the 1960s, like the late 60s, remember the Rodney King riot? I mean, you remember the Dr. King riots back in 1968? How a lot of black people looted and rioted and destroyed their neighborhoods? And then up until 1992, no, mind you, I'm sorry, let me backtrack. Back in 1968, a lot of those people that was looting and rioting back then, they were boomers. They was boomers for the most part, and they was looting and rioting and destroying their neighborhoods. And guess what? In 1992, remember the Rodney King riots? A lot of those young people at that time, they was Gen Xers. You get what I'm saying? They was Gen Xers. And now currently, well not really currently, but back in the year 2020, you had a mix of millennials and Gen Zers destroying their neighborhoods too. What I'm trying to say is that like the old saying goes, history is doomed to repeat itself. And also, what Lupe Fiasco said, you realize your future is somebody else's past. You get the correlation. Each generation did a lot of damage to their neighborhoods, whether they were boomers, Gen Xers, millennials, and Gen Z for the most part. Now, what I'm trying to say, okay, here's the thing. Now, here's the trickle down effect. When it comes to the Gen Xers, during the Rodney King riots, a lot of those young people were complaining how the boomers dropped the ball. How the boomers have dropped the ball when it comes to regulations, policies, and also into politics and all that stuff. They were saying how the older generation dropped the ball when it came to certain scenarios and certain topics that needs to be addressed, towards the nation. But now in the year 2020, going on, well, not in the year 2020, but now in the year 2025, those Gen Xers, back then, back in 1992, they are becoming the new boomers. See, the same thing that the Gen Xers was complaining about what the boomers were not doing, guess what? The Gen Xers are doing the same thing what the boomers had done in the past. Not deregulating certain policies when it comes to politics and all that stuff. The same thing what the boomers have done in the past. The Gen Xers are doing some of the things too. They doing the same. They doing some of the things too as the boomers have done in the past. You get what I'm saying? It's like the old saying goes. History is doomed to repeat itself. And like Lupe Fiasco said, you realize your future is somebody else's past. You get what I'm saying? It's a trickle down effect. It's nothing more than a motherfucking trickle down effect. I'm sorry for cussing, but I have to tell it like it is, man. And I'm not trying to put all the blame on the boomers and the Xers and all that stuff. I realize that we all play a part in this, man. We just need to finish the damn job when it comes to creating new rules, laws, and regulations towards our lands, towards our cities and towns. Especially when it comes to politics, man. We have to deregulate that shit, man. We have to get back to the ball. We have to get back on the ball and do what we need to do and stop dropping the damn ball. We have to go back to business. But like I said before, like Lupe Fiasco said, you realize your future is somebody else's past. And guess what? No disrespect to millennials because I'm a millennial. I'm an older millennial. But what I realize is that the millennials in my generation, if they don't wake up, if they don't wake up and pay attention, they are going to fall in the same pitfalls and traps as the Gen Xers are doing right now. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by the same pitfalls and traps, okay, you know how the boomers, how they dropped the ball, and now the people from Gen X, they doing the same thing too. And I just hope and pray, that the millennials won't do the same thing too. It's nothing more than a trickle down effect, man. We just need to get back to business. You know what I'm saying? Forget about dropping the ball. Keep the ball, and just roll the dice and we need to do what we need to do in order for us to make this land or this nation into a better place. And that's all I gotta say about that, man. That's all I gotta say. You know, that's all I gotta say, man. It's I'm just kind of fed up to what's going on with that society, but I have to realize that it just sometimes it just is what it is. But as an individual, I don't have to fall into the same pitfalls and traps as everybody else is doing. As long as I can keep myself afloat and not fall for the same old rigmarole bullshit, then I'll be all right for the most part. But to my generation, wake the hell up. Do not become the new boomers. I repeat, do not become the new boomers as the Gen X's are going to become. You hear me? Do not become the new boomers as the Gen X's are going to become. Because the Gen X's, they are the new boomers. They are the new boomers. They just don't realize it. They are the new boomers. They may, say, a few things here and there, but for the most part, their action speaks otherwise. The Gen Xers are becoming the new boomers. And I hope that the millennials won't fall into the same pitfalls and traps as they do right now, whatever. And that's all I got to say about that, man. That's all I got to say. So, yeah, man. So, thank you so much and have a good day.